upload and give it to you guys. Yeah. Uh, okay, I've started the recording. So yesterday, let's have a quick brief recap on what we have discussed yesterday. Yeah. So what did we learn? We said Deepthi is working on a front end. She's been given a task. So whenever she has to work on this front end task, she'll be given a task. Okay. They will not. In general, we don't get to work on a complete project ourselves, which is too much wrong. Okay. In software development, we always take a small feature, small task. We don't believe that Deepthi is a what to say, superhuman, and she can complete everything in one go. No, software development believes things have to go incremental fashion, part by part. Yeah, we call it like story. Yeah, we have a software development methodology. You all would have, I think, heard of or at least seen the concept of SDLC. Fine. So what happens here? Okay. So we do what? So once she completes the task, she will push the changes to the GitHub repository. Before she working, this repository would have been already created. This repository should exist because so somebody would have actually created a repository for her for this existing source code. So I'll say this is the first step. Yeah, creating the front end repository, the first step, and she will actually kind of clone the repository. She will push the changes, and once she is done, okay. So when she'll be done, she has to write her. If she has to say development is completed, generally she has to do a testing after all her coding is done. She also have to write unit tests. Yeah, unit tests generally we write for functions. We write for small component in the code. It could be a simple class. For example, if you are working on Java, you will write a unit test per class. And once she has done with that, okay, she will actually she will actually give uh, the version of the new version of her task. Yeah, through this DevOps, she'll be able to host it. She'll be able to deploy it, or she'll be able to release it. In simple, for example, if she is working on a mobile app, she will give a version of mobile app where this manual tester can install and test it. If it's a website, she will give a URL saying, okay, see, this is where you can test my latest changes. Yeah. So the development is not completed until all the stakeholders who are involved. For example, so there will be a process here. So manual tester has to verify automation test. Yeah. Sometimes we don't believe manual testing is good enough. So we don't want to kind of have the effort repeated, yeah, for every change. So we will write some automation test also. Whatever can be automated, we will automate it. What is not possible in certain cases, we will go for manual testing also. Yeah, it can be done by the same user, different user. Then there will be a demo, yeah, within your internal team. Maybe every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you will have a demo of whatever features in the team it is developed. There also it has to go for approval. After that, it goes for a product owner, yeah, somebody who is actually the person who is behind you know steering how the product should develop, what all features should be there. He's the one who will be knowing like, okay, what is this product, who is going to use it, why we are developing this product, what are the important features first people has to develop, how they have to look like. So everything will be decided by what is called as product owner. So now, yeah, at the end, if everybody says, then we will have one more release in the form of so for every incremental change we will go for a version 2, version 3, version 4, so on. We don't know how many versions it takes. So finally one version will say, yeah, now let's deploy this, and that lands into user some. Yeah, so that is called production. I talked about environments. Okay, there will be different environments in our you know so especially when we are hosting. So some of the environments are dev, test, UAT, yeah, pre-prod, production. So in simple, what is production? So let's say we are now all using e-commerce app called Amazon.com. So you are all using Amazon.com, correct? Yeah, Amazon.in. So for the same, they will have a website called test.amazon.in. Yeah, they will have a dev.amazon.in. So like that, they'll have a different URL for each of the different environments. It will not be same. So you cannot test in their production, correct? If you are assume you are working as a tester in Amazon, so you cannot test it on their live production website. All right, yeah, I mean you can test it, but to an extent, yeah, to see, yeah, he has to verify that even in production things are working fine. That is actually called as a sanity testing. It's just a sanity, just to check, okay, basic flow is working. You won't do by, you can browse, you can see add to cart is working, you can see payment, it is going to the payment, you can see all that stuff, but not really, you will do more thorough testing here. Fine. So now the big picture is, okay, now we have something which is in development, yeah, and along with that there are different people who are working, and how do we make things easy? So we cannot go through all these DevOps steps every time, and we cannot do these steps manually. Yeah, so these steps, for example, pulling the code, dependency installation, running unit test, running end-to-end test, compiling the code, security scan, and then deploying it to any of the cloud environments. Like for example, we might have AWS, Azure, GCP. Yeah, so based on each of the team and each company will have a different infrastructure where we deploy this code or this project finally. So based on that infrastructure, so we will what? So uh, the deployment where it is, what, how it is and all will differ. But this process, entire process, what I've written here, this is fully automated. Usually we want to make it automated because so we don't know how many times this has to be done, and it is an extra burden. So this is fully automatable. Okay, today we have a lot of tools where this whole process is automated. Every company will do automation. Yeah, it's very less, like only in the startup companies they will do manual because it's going to cost you a lot of amount. If you do manually, they will rely on one time they will make this process automated. For example, if if, along with Deepti, there are like 10, totally 10 developers in the team. On an average, if they do 10 versions to make their development completed, yeah, they'll end up like 100 versions. Yeah, so in a matter of 10. Oh, sorry guys, I think the system got shut down. I didn't see that battery is dying, huh? Well, I was on full screen maybe. I didn't realize it. Okay, so all I was saying is, just a second. Okay, so all I was saying, so if there are 10, 100 100 iteration it takes, then this DevOps process will run for 100 times. Yeah, so this is a huge amount of work actually, if at all we have to do it manually. And this process of automating the development and the operation part is actually called as DevOps. And I gave you an important caution actually. So after completing 4 years of engineering, many people end up they go for this course called as DevOps course. I would say with my knowledge, yeah, and my experience with respect to the industry, this is totally what to say, very challenging, both in terms of even doing it, yeah, you learning it, And also in terms of getting a job, it is very difficult, and generally it is preferred for a experienced guy. Yeah, it's a preferred for an experienced person, so they usually expect you to know a lot of tools. I didn't talk about many tools. There are a lot of tools in terms of DevOps, like okay, Jenkins, okay, Docker. Then you will have to know Git and GitHub. Yeah. So there are a lot of tools. Maybe I can show you the roadmap quickly to say what kind of tools exist on DevOps. Yeah. So you need to be knowing all those tools apart from the knowledge of, or the basic knowledge of scripting. For example, you should know scripting, Bash, PowerShell scripting. Yeah, one of this, which is nothing but terminal knowledge. Okay. So you should be knowing the programming languages. Like preferred is nowadays Python, Go. Yeah, these are other languages you should be knowing. Operating system, you should have an idea. For example, Linux, you should be knowing what exactly is a Red Hat Linux, Ubuntu Linux. Version control system, you should know what is Git. In terms of hosting, you should be knowing GitHub. I told you there are alternatives. In terms of containerization, you should be knowing, basically, yeah, the different servers we have, like Nginx server, Tomcat server, Apache server. Networking, should know what is DNS, HTTPS, HTTP, SSL. Cloud, you should be knowing AWS or Azure. Yeah, so there is now in cloud we have got something called serverless. You should be knowing one of these offering, what is AWS Lambda and Cloudflare. Configuration management, Ansible. CI/CD tools, yeah, I told you just now Jenkins. There is also an option called GitLab CI or GitHub Actions. Okay, secret management, artifactory management, GitOps. Okay, service mesh. You got container orchestration in the form of Kubernetes, cloud design patterns. You see the list is not ending. Yeah. So using these many tools, you cannot learn. See, nobody can teach you in a span of 6 months. I'm not saying this is not possible. I'm saying it is too aggressive. Okay. This is almost like, you thinking like, last 5 hours you will hit 100 runs. Yeah. In a cricket match, like you are thinking like, okay, in 5 hours I'll hit 200 runs. Think like what is a bit, it's too costly, right? Or too risky. At the end, all of you want a job, whether it is a DevOps, whether it is a front end, back end. You don't mind most of you, correct? All right, yeah. So, but as a developer also, you should have some idea of this because so you will be working with some of the times, yeah. Also, at times, what happens, right? If you end up in a smaller company, yeah, very small company, very small team, yeah. At times, the DevOps role, you will have some overlap, meaning some of the stuff you will have to do it, some of the stuff. Yeah, they'll not ask you as a beginner, but at least some of the stuffs as a developer, things will overlap. I'm not saying as a fresher, because fresher you will not know. It's again very important thing also. Another thing is you should make sure that your system is up 24/7. I gave you an example of Amazon should be always up. Do you think they'll give it for a new fresher who's just joined Amazon, even though he has got a job in Amazon? It is going to cost a lot actually if a small mistake is introduced in their flow, and if the latest version of the build is not available, everything is going to pile up. You can't release your product on time. Case goes for others also, correct? So it really needs somebody experienced, somebody who has a thorough knowledge of the entire system, entire infrastructure, yeah, and is also very good in actually automating things. Fine. So with that, now let's understand. I told you yesterday we will understand what is Git and GitHub actually. So these two, version control system and VCS hosting. So I'll talk about this today. Yeah, Git and GitHub. Okay. At the end, I'll also show you how to host a simple Hello World application. Okay. Hello World application. We will host a website so that you all know what it takes to host a website, and you can use this technique or to whatever website you want. You might be having some dream of making some website, but I'll show you how do we host a simple index.html file and then we will host it. Okay, so that technique I'll tell you. On top of that, uh, Yeah, we will host our React project also in Netlify. Okay, so I'll tell you a tool called Netlify. So through that you can actually learn this hosting. So we will do a React project hosting because we have some project which is hosted. Through that I will tell you what is build, what is unit test, how how the deployment happens actually. Yeah, it's called so DevOps has another terminology called CI/CD. Yeah. So what is the meaning of this? Continuous integration and continuous delivery. Yeah, continuous delivery. It means so people there are 10 people who are working in deep system, correct? All of them are working on something and they are integrating to the existing system. For example, it could be dev environment, it could be test environment. So they keep on adding new feature. They are all working actually. So they'll integrate. That's what is continuous integration. It should not stop. As and when things are pushed to GitHub, automatically this integration should happen. And as soon as the integration happened, yeah, and they will be able to release it. Okay, if they verify, let's say the automated task is there, they verify and everything, then the release should also happen, which is nothing but delivery. So your whatever latest features are there, suddenly, the sooner they should land into the actual user, correct? Be it your app, be it your website, any application. Yeah. So I'm not telling front end is also going to work like this. Yeah. You take it's a website. Yeah. Let's say you're working on a website, or you work on a mobile app, or you work on some operating system. Anything and everything in software development will go through, okay, will go through this DevOps process. Everything, okay, everything as a will go through this DevOps process, which is a must. Okay, irrespective of what software I'm developing, which company I'm there, which language I'm developing, it doesn't matter. We will go with the DevOps process. DevOps steps will be there. Even if you're writing C in code in C language, okay, things will go through DevOps. And there will be this DevOps process is also called as continuous integration and continuous delivery. So when I search for DevOps, okay, let me show you. Okay, so let's see. So it says continuous integration, continuous delivery. I will show you one image actually. That's the reason for it. Yeah. Now there are also additional roles will actually come. As you can see in this, very good image. They talk about. You see, it's in a loop actually. So you do code. So there will be first thing is planning. What to do and how to do. And then you will do a coding. Then you will build and give a release. Then you will test it. That you will release it. Then deploy it. Then you will have some operations and then monitor means you check how many users are using, see if in while Amazon people are using, any issues are there, anything people are facing actually, are the people able to successfully log in, are there anything which is stuck, payment and all is going through. So that's called monitoring. Okay, there will be monitoring tools, or uh, are there any there will be a lot of monitoring will be there. Okay, system monitoring, application monitoring, yeah, security. So that is all comes under monitoring. Yeah, so this is a, you see, it's a infinity, meaning it's a forever loop. It keeps happening every day. In the software development, this is an infinitely running process. So it's a never-ending process. Once it stops, it means that project is dead or people are not there. Yeah, or there are no more things to be. I mean, yeah, it cannot stop. Okay, meaning the software is closed now. All right. With this, now let's come to. Okay, I talked about installation. Many of you didn't reply. I saw very few responses. Before I head to this Git concepts and not commands, do I have any questions? Anything that you guys wanted to know in this big picture? What exactly is DevOps, or anything in this diagram which have described here? Any of the terminologies, any of the technique which you are interested? Guys, feel free to ask. I will not put any fine actually if you ask a wrong question. This is an opportunity to ask somebody in a group, yeah, like this. You have to take it. You have to grab this, and you have been given a time. All right. Okay. If you get along when I'm explaining this concept, uh, yeah, Git concept, not commands. Oh, sorry, I'm not creating a post. I have to say Git concept and not commands. Oh, wait. Okay. There are a lot of this particular website will have a lot of posts. Okay. But in that one, okay. So let's say you think that this is a very good link. See, I've even done a sign in. You can follow this. Follow this. Yeah. You can bookmark it. Fine. So this is a dev.to, very good website. I would always say like you have to read this one like your news daily feed. This is an interactive tutorial. I've asked you to read already this one. Yeah. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about two things. Yeah. Git and GitHub. Okay. So first thing is we'll talk about what is called Git. So what exactly is a Git? Yeah. Git is actually a version control tool. What is a tool? Version control tool. So in our use case, we have Deepthi. So she is working on some feature, new feature. Okay, first time when she hit a save button, yeah, and it goes through Git, okay, she will get one version. So we said it is version 0.1. Again, she makes another change, yeah, save and via Git you get, yeah, if you use Git, you get another version called 0.2. So like so on. So we will be able to maintain the version. So version of what? Very important. It is a version of every file in your repository. And tell me what is the use of maintaining these versions? Why I need to maintain version? Why I not simply save it in the file and keep it? Anybody has an understanding why we need to worry about versioning? What is the need of versioning?
Sir, for improvement purpose, sir. If any, like improving versions each time.
Yeah, improving I can just go and paste in the same folder, na? I mean, yeah, I'll improve it, but how version will help for improvement? So you're saying new code, if you want to add, I will add it in the same folder. I've already created a project, correct? Already I've created a project, and then I'll go on adding into the same folder. That's called improvement also, no? I mean, good, you tried something, but I'm just making you to think louder actually. What is the purpose of having this version maintenance?
It will be updated and changed in the code, sir.
Correct. Code I'm keep changing and updating it. So what happens? What is the use of version? See, now there are some files. Yesterday we wrote,
Added
come again?
new features also added, and also version 1 and version 2, it will be difference. Also we what we know.
Correct. I mean, that's how the versioning actually happens. Versioning is, so it is going to have maintained, uh, what exactly it is. Yeah. Yeah, we would like to have a different version.
Maybe to improve its efficiency.
No, it will not help in terms of any of the efficiency. No. Good try, but yeah, it no nowhere in the improving the efficiency. Any other answers? No, the very first thing, right? See this file, you just observe this file, what I'm showing here. It is showing me list of changes. It is telling me yesterday you have changed this file. It changed from what to what. Do you see a difference here? It is saying you yesterday you have uncommitted this change, yeah, and it is telling what is changed from what. It is also clearly highlighting you have removed .com. When did this change added? You added 4 days ago. With what name? Final code for React app for CRUD operation. Do you understand? At this file level? Yeah?
Sir, is it because for tracking the on what track the project
Yeah.
or anything is going?
Yeah, more than how the project tracking at a file level. Who has done the change? Why he has done the
User.
change? No, no, no. I'm just trying to explain. Okay. I'm trying to explain what is the use of version. Yes, developer has made the change, but we would like to understand why Deepthi has done this change. She has to put a comment. See, it is showing February 24th, 8 p.m. Final code for React. This has been done. Who? Myself have done. What is its version? This is its version. This is the version number for that. And now I'm trying to again save the change, but it is clearly saying, see there is a ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೊಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ, ಇದೊಂದು ಲೈನ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ, is it okay? This is your change. As a developer, this is Git is tracking and telling me ನೀನು ಇದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ, ಆರ್ ಯು ಶ್ಯೂರ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ರಿಮೂವ್ ದಿಸ್ .com ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಈಗ. And again I go to this file, for example app.js. ನೋಡಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಇರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ನೀನು ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ, ಈ ರೆಡ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ನೀನು ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ, is it okay? See, this is called tracking your changes, tracking every single character it is going to track. For example, now I go and edit something in index.css file. Okay, there is a CSS file. All I do is I'll add okay a dot link. I'll add some I'll add some change just to show you. Okay, I'll add some change. Let's see what happens now. You see, now the number of files change, it became 5, and now it is also going to show me that this file is also changed, and it is clearly telling you have done these 3 lines of change. This is called the tracking version. Tracking, actually it is tracking each and every file, it is tracking what was your previous and now what is it. And this is important for so many reasons. So many reasons. First thing is, what if I accidentally change something? I mean, ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ? ಯೂಶಲಿ ಮೈ ಕೋಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಬಿಗ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕೋಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. If I change by mistake, I would have, instead of giving this, I might have removed it accidentally. ನಾನು ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. How do I check? ನನಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ as a human being, can I identify that small change so easily?
No, no, sir.
No. You see, now the system is showing you that this is missing here. Is it okay? And it is coming under list of changes. No, I don't want this change ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I can go back and edit this file. I can edit this file saying, no, 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 I want that. Oh, I might have removed by accidentally. This is in terms of the changes. Okay, so now this advantage or this kind of tracking is there. Oh, it is there because it is a Git controlled project, or it is a Git repository. The current project which I'm working now, it is added to Git for tracking each and every file, every line, every character also it will watch. Now the benefit is, yes, safety. I get full safety. Tomorrow I can easily question, Deepti, why did you do this change? Correct? So there are 10
Sir,
people. I said 10 people are working in the team. Tomorrow I should not have a blame game. No, I didn't change. I also didn't change. No, 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 I didn't change. See, it will give me a full control. Who has changed, what has changed, for why he has changed. Also, we will be able to get, you know, a detailed log. When he has changed, also we will be able to get. Okay, let me switch to a command prompt. Yeah, so I'm saying if I use this word, okay, if I use this word, there is a command called git log hyphen hyphen one line. I can get who has changed last, when he has changed. So this kind of tracking is possible with the help of Git. And in terms of, you know, history, let's say you come back after 1 year, you come back after 2 year, I can again show you that day, you have done this change. You have removed this .com and you only as, you know, saved this file to the Git. I can actually go back to that particular version, or I can even go and check that day who has done the change. Simple. And this version history is never removed as long as this repository ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ repository ಈ ಕೋಡ್ ಇರೋವರೆಗೂ ಆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಹಂಗೆ ಕೂತಿರುತ್ತೆ. You can go back to any version of that particular file. Getting what I'm saying? Yeah, I can go back to any version. Now how I'll get a new version? I'll say git add and then dot, yeah, and then I will say git commit -m. I'll put some message added unit test. You see, changes 0 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. There is no change here. Now how do I ask? I'll ask git status. Git, tell me what has happened anta. It says there is nothing to commit. Everything is clean. And now I'll again ask git, give me the list of commits who has done. See, now it shows there is one more commit. Yeah. So in git, if at all we save through git, not like just file save. If I save through git, we get what is called as a commit, commit number, commit ID. Yeah. So you see now it is showing there are two commits. Now let's say if you want to go back to this, you can click on this show commit. It will show you what are all the files added part of this. Yeah, so let me show you what are all the files added for this. Now you are interested, you want to see which files are changed part of this commit. See, it is saying you done the change. It is going to show you even file history. Okay, this is like I think for the earlier commit. Yeah, the previous one. Let me click on this latest commit. Sorry, show commit. Yeah, you see this version is there. Okay, it is saying there are 25 one files changed. Yeah, these are all added plus. I think this is not showing the right commit. Yeah, just a second. Okay, just a second. Let's again click on this version. Oh, sorry. I think my mistake. This is the latest one, correct? Head is the latest version. So let's see what is the version here. I'm saying show commit. Just now, 5 files we have done. Now I'm showing you I can go back to that version. How? This is your message. What you added. What is the file you changed? These are the 5 files you changed. What is this saying? There are some additions and remove. Well, plus minus. What is this is saying? This is added for the first time. Now what you did you change in db.json? If you're interested, you click on this file. Yeah, you click on this file. Now it opens up that file from the git history and it will tell you what exactly you have done the change on that day when you saved this file, which is you removed .com and you just made Gmail. Who has done? You. 2 minutes ago. such a timestamp. This is your version. You understand? So this level of control is required, and that is possible only through this special software called Git. And you need to install this Git in your local. And Git is a version control tool. And version control is there everywhere. Just to give you a simple example, your operating systems have version. Your mobile operating system, you all say 1 plus 11, 12, 13, Apple 9, 10, 11, 12, isn't it? Yeah. So we use versions actually. Simple. Even the lot of packages, the dependency that we have here, see, they all have versions. 10, 10.4, 6.6.3, Android operating system. Yeah. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So everything needs to be versioned. Why? First thing is for tracking. Second thing is to go back to a particular version. Yeah, person who wants 10 version also should be able to install version. Person who is looking for Android 14 also should be able to install. It's not just okay, everybody is only latest. No, they want to use a different version. Different people needs different version. And because of version, I can go back to that specific instance of changes. It's not that I have to use always consume latest. Every software is versioned. For example, this VS Code is also versioned. You see, if I say about VS Code, it will tell me you are using 1.9.7.2. I mean 97.2, and this is a commit. It is telling when it is released. Okay, two weeks back. Okay, whatever was there, that is what you have installed. Fine. Okay, this is just to give you a general. Now let's come back to you know. Let me explain how this Git works actually. For this, yes. So the way Git works, okay, to understand this is a very good picture. Now what this picture is basically saying, yeah. So whenever you create a project in your local, yeah. So we start off with what is called as, we need to start as a Git repository. Now how do we get started with something like a Git repository? So let me tell you. So you will have one simple folder. Yeah, it might be an empty folder. It might be a folder with a lot of files. Okay, simple. So I'll show you. You take any folder. Okay, any folder. I'll create a sample folder called, new Git demo. What is it folder name? Git demo. Now it's a normal folder. Nothing is there in this. Now the way, if I add some files, they will not be tracked automatically. So that is the reason what I'll do, by going into that folder, I will execute this command called, I will execute this. It says this is not a repository. I don't see Git actually. So we use this command called git init. Once, only once we say this git init. Now it has initialized the empty Git repository. Now let's say if I say git status, then what? No commits. There is nothing to commit. You are already on some branch which is called master. I'll tell you what is branch. So now this command git init makes this empty folder, whatever I created an empty folder, right? Git demo. Now this is actually a Git repository. It becomes a Git repository. A simple folder created and just initialized Git using git init command becomes a Git repository. Any questions so far? Okay. Now I'll tell you how things works now. Okay. So we did what? We did git init for initializing the repository. So we created a folder. Yeah. Create a folder, and then we did git init. Yeah. Now see the next step now. Once I create a git init and create a folder, that folder, you know, that folder internally, okay, behind the scene, it will have this kind of partition. What it is going to have? it is going to have this kind of partition which is not visible to you. Getting what I'm saying? It will have a partition like this, which means you will have one stuff which is called as working directory. You will have one thing called working directory will be there, and another thing which is called staging area, that is also there, but you don't see it. I'll show you what is what. And then there is another area which is called local repository, which is all okay, which is all behind the scene. Behind the scene, Git is going to create, yeah, for its internal working. Okay, for its internal working, it is going to create these three, you know, areas, or in your, for this particular directory what you created. Which one? The Git demo directory. Under Git demo directory, you will see all these things actually. Now, how we are saying it is all working? Okay, so now the way it works is, yeah, so any change we make, we'll go through these directories separately. For example, working directory, first it moves to working directory, then it goes to staging area, and then it goes to local repository. And we have commands actually to move from here to here, here to here, here to here. We have commands. That's why, what people do, people go crazy behind learning all these commands without even understanding internally how Git works, and they'll get confused. Okay, finally, once I've done the change in my local and everything is working, I told you, okay, Deepthi, once she has done the change, she will actually move the change from this local repository to remote repository. She will create one remote repository where she will create. If this is the first time, if this repository is not there, she will create a repository. Again, what is a repository? Same thing. It is an empty folder. It's a folder where Git is working actually. Getting what I'm saying? Yeah. What is a repo? A repo is nothing but a folder where Git is initialized. And that is actually a folder, right? So in a fancy Git world, we say it as a repo. It's a repository. It is a storage. So for the first time, you will create a repo. Otherwise, what you will do? You will push the changes to the repo. And why do you push? There are again a lot of reasons. One is for security. Yesterday I told you I've done the change. Will she keep in local? No, she should not. She should do continuous integration so that this is available for testing and further stages. And let's say our friends are working. She also has to pull latest changes back to our local repository. What she has to do? She also has to pull the code, meaning retrieving that code, latest code. Yeah. So this is push and this is pull. Why? It is required. She has to get the latest. And here what we have is actually called as local repository. So this directory where I'm working is called local repository, and its exact copy or its equivalent or its changes will be synced to the remote repository. I'll tell you like how this works, okay, or why it works. Imagine you take a picture in your mobile. Yeah, in your Android phone you take a pic. What happens? Yeah, what happens? Tell me. It is available within your phone. Now, for a safety and for a backup purpose, we also upload it we have done a sync. Yeah, Google, we have a sync, correct? Yeah, I'll write like Google sync is there, or whatever sync you have. What happens? This, this like behind the scene, it does a background syncing, right? Over the night, or whenever you have internet, it starts syncing to your Google Drive. And let's say if you delete from here, again it syncs back to phone. So this process is called syncing, correct? Again, why do we do a sync? So we could do this kind of thing. It's now same thing here. So between local and remote, you always need a syncing. Whenever you are working, you want the latest, yeah, you have to get it. And whenever there is something added, you want to save it, again sync will happen here. Like similar to that, whenever I'm working on a project, I create a local repository, which is nothing but I think create a simple file. I mean a simple folder. In that I'll add some files. Now I can add some new files here. For example, I add a file called a.text. Yeah, this will track any files actually. Whether you have a text file, whether you have a C++ file, Java file, it doesn't care. It's a general Git, you know, concept. It works a.text, b.text. Now the thing is, again, I'll go and check using git command. Yeah, I created the repository. Yeah, there was nothing. So I'll ask git, what is the status now? Oh, no commits, but there are untracked files are there. What is it? These are untracked files. Okay, interesting. This there are two files, and it is clearly showing you it is in red. There are two untracked files. Now this is the stage is called working directory. What stage they are now? They are in the working directory.
Working.
That is why they're showing in red. Now what I'll do simply I'll say git add dot, yeah, or git a dot text. You can use this command also. Sorry, a dot text dot text. Okay, it has become extension also as added. So I added. Okay, so a dot text. Now see what is the status now. This file a dot text is in staging area. I've staged this file. B dot text still in the working directory. But do you see a working directory and staging area here? Yeah, you see it, but this is like virtually that is how it is maintained. So now it is maintained this file in a different area, this file in a different area. Now I'll add git b.text.text also. See what happens now. Now this file also goes. Uh, Git is not a global command. Sorry, git add. Correct? I missed this command add. So what I'm saying is, if I use add command, if I use an add command, things will go from what? From
Staging area.
working directory staging area. Correct? Now I say git status. Now everything it is saying, see, changes to be committed. Okay, changes to be committed. Right? So if you commit, that's what it's saying. Next, it is giving me next thing what you should do. Git is very intelligent. Huh? It's saying okay, next you have to commit. So now it is not saying it is stage, but it is saying if you want to unstage, you can run this command git rm minus minus cached and then the file if you say, then what happens? Your files will come back from staging to working directory. Getting what I'm saying? If you do add, then they'll go from working directory to staging area. Yeah. If you want to reverse, that is also possible. Git like this, Git gives you a lot of commands. Now you don't worry. Okay. Now I'll tell you a simple happy flow, meaning all positive. Yeah. No going back. So next I will do what is called as git commit minus m. Yeah. Initial commit. This is it's the first commit. I'll say initial commit. The command is git commit. Now see what happens. It has created these two files. Okay. It is also displaying some number also. Yeah. And zero insertion, zero deletions, which means in these two files, I have not added a single line. I have also not deleted any line. You see, that is also it is telling you. So now let's say git status. It says nothing to commit. Working tree is clean. You know what happened now with git commit? The files actually moved from staging to local repository. Now they are in local repository. What is it? With the git commit command, files are moved from staging area to commit. But they are there only in my local. You see, I can say git log and it is showing you this is a commit number. You see this is called UUID. Huh? Yeah, universal unique identifier. Okay, this is called UUID. So it's kind of a commit hash. We call it as commit hash. And this is how Git tracks actually every file. So you need to commit. You save, stage it, and then commit it. And that's how you kind of track every file version. And once you are done, you can also do a push. You can also do a push. How do I push? To push, first thing is I should have a repository where to push. Getting what I'm saying? I should have a repository where to push. Now, using GitHub, yeah, using GitHub generally, so we kind of maintain remote repositories. I said GitHub is one of the option to maintain that repository. So here I'll create git demo. I'll just make it, yeah, okay, let it be public, no issues, okay. So this is a repo to show Git and GitHub basics. Getting what I'm saying? And then I will say create this repository. There is an option which is nothing but I am creating one empty folder in GitHub and I am doing Git initialization also. As we saw, that is a way to create a repository, correct? We said it's a folder and Git initialized. Now I am creating the similar stuff not in local but in this website called github.com. And this is the reason I asked you create an account in github.com. And there are two options, public and private. So if you do public, anybody can see. I can send you this URL. I can send you this URL. You all will be able to see. If I make it private, then only I can see. This is not shareable. So usually, let's say you are working on some project and which is secured. You don't want others to give. So it gives you two options. Very good. And this is completely free. Huh? GitHub is completely free. Okay, let me create a repository. Now you see, this is saying it's completely empty. It's completely empty. See, it's okay. It says there are two things. Create a new repository. We already did. You saw I executed git init command. I also did commit by adding two dummy text files. I also did a commit. Yeah, these two things I have not done. Git branch, git remote, git push. So now I'm going to show you. So this, since all this stuff is done, okay, I will do this. Yeah, or push an existing repository from the command line. Since I have done this, okay, I will say I'm already reached to this stage where I have created a repository. I can just add this command git remote, git remote, okay. So git remote. So please note down this. Huh? I mean, so watch this carefully. I want you all to do now. I'll give you few minutes now. You all have to do the same stuff. See git remote add origin. Okay, done. Now it is saying, uh, okay, make the branch as, yeah. So you see here the branch was master. Now GitHub says, no, generally I work with main branch. Call it main. I don't want it as master. So we are renaming it minus M. So this master branch, we are renaming it. I'll show you, again, git status. If you say, it says you are on master branch. Now I'll say branch minus M, modify the name to main. Now you say git status, it says you are on branch main. Earlier you are on master, now it's main. So now next it is saying, okay, you push this main branch. You push this main branch, but where? To the origin. What exactly is origin? I'll show you what is origin also. Yeah, before that, let me show you origin. Git remote minus v. If I tell minus v, then it says what is origin. The origin, it says if you push, changes will go to this particular repository. If you say git fetch, then I am going to fetch it from this repository. Yeah. So now I am saying git push minus u. Okay. So I'm just saying, okay, you push this where, to this, you know, to this particular origin. Yeah, that's the destination. But we're also saying, okay, you track with this main. Okay, you kind of link it to main on that origin also. Current branch is main. In origin also you make it as main. That's what is I am saying. Now you see I'll do a git push. It says, okay, it takes few seconds. Yeah, it says, okay, all fine, all fine. There is no error. It is saying total 3, so and so, main to main. Okay, there is a new locally main, remote also main. Now see, it's saying branch main setup to track origin main. That's how those two are linked. After this, I'll come and reload. Do you see these two files are there? Whatever we just added, and it says 7 minutes ago. That is when I've committed. Yeah. So now what I've done, I've literally created a repo, and also I did a push changes to the remote repository. Now why I did? Because there are a lot of reasons. Yeah, one is for sharing, one is for security reasons. Yeah, so I just want to safeguard. Also, this now since I've shared my entire, you all can actually work on this repository. You all, okay, who are part of our team. Okay, imagine you're all are part of our team. You all can actually work on this project. Now Deepti can also add files. Nagashri can also add files. Yeah, okay. So many. Emma also can add files. So all of you can add files and actually work on this project, provided I give you access to, right. But you all can actually, take this code. You all can, take this complete code for your purpose. How? By clicking on fork. You can copy the entire project of your own. And Git has got, GitHub has got lot of repository. What is it? It's got lot of repositories. Example, simply I search for React. Okay, I'll search for React projects. Just to tell you, search all GitHub. You see how many results I've got? How many results I got? 332,000 repositories or projects I got which are in GitHub. They are not lines of code. They are not files, number of files. I'm saying you they are all list of projects. What did you get? And again, each project I can browse. If I want, I can download the code also because they have made it public. They have not put any restriction. Yes, there will be something called license. Yeah, we'll talk about that later if you're interested. So this complete code you can download actually. There is an option here, you see, download zip. Yeah, I'm sorry to say this. This is all not taught. Yeah, in LKG and all, they did not tell you all this, correct? LKG, UKG, first standard, they didn't teach you all these things. Sorry, guys. But yeah, see now what this is the power of, what is GitHub actually. But just to tell you, lot of people have kept their code online. They're not keeping it in their local. That's the reason we need GitHub. Even if they are working solo, they want somewhere to save. Okay, so now what I want, okay, I want you all to do the same stuff. Okay, I'll give you maybe 10 minutes of time. Okay, 10 minutes of time. I'll also give you the commands also. Okay, I'll ask Copilot. It will give you the list of commands instead of rather than me typing. Yeah, so I'll ask a prompt. Create a local repo. Yeah, create a local repo using Git for the first time. Important. Okay, if you have to get the right commands, you have to give full context to the Copilot, right? Create a local repo using Git for the first time, not the time, first time, and then create a repo in GitHub. Yeah, okay. After that, add, you know, a sample file and push to GitHub. So let me write this prompt. Let's see if the Copilot gives me complete list of commands. Okay. Okay. Give me. Okay. I'll have to also have to tell the exact thing. Give me a flow for creating a local. Yeah. For to create. Okay. Let me just. Okay. So I'll have this prompt. I'll also give you guys. You can also run this in your Copilot. Again, Copilot is a very free one. Copilot.microsoft.com, just like your chat GPT. No need of login and all that. I mean, though it is there, it's optional. Do you see? It's just simple 5 commands. I don't have to tell all these commands. Okay. So, okay, now I'll give you, let's say 15 minutes only. Okay. I mean, Git, sorry, why not Git? Copilot.microsoft.com. This is what I use instead of chat GPT. I don't know when I used last chat GPT. Okay. This is assigned, and I'm saying you the prompt text. I'm giving you the prompt text. This is fine. Okay, now there is one thing which is actually missing in this. Okay, okay, what is called as git config? What is it called? Git config for the first time, meaning it will ask you to it will ask you to configure your, you know, username and username and email. Basically you need username and email. Yeah, so first time you will get an error actually while committing, because I have done already. That's why I didn't get. But you need to execute these two commands. Yeah, these two command these two commands you need. I'm pasting these two also. When you need to commit for the first time in local, you need these two commands. Okay, in that your name place you put your name. In email address you put your complete email address, whatever you used for creating GitHub account. Yeah, and then there is a command to list it. Yeah, so simply, okay, git config for the first time. You ask Copilot again, that will also give you these commands. Okay, now before we start to this exercise, yeah, before we start to this exercise, do I have any questions? Are you all sleeping, or do you have any questions?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Nagashri.
Sir, what is the difference between that master branch and main branch?
No, there is no difference actually. See, the way there are two different operating, there are two softwares here. One is called Git, another one is called GitHub. Okay, and both are different actually. Git is a version control. In GitHub, it is Git plus a hub. Hub meaning a repository. So in both the place Git is working. Simple words. Okay, both the place Git is working. Git is actually the version control software. But what happens? The locally installed software, creates a branch name with master. This is a called default branch. Default, it creates a branch called master. But GitHub recommends, now they say, no, no, I don't want it as default branch as master. So better name it as main. That's the only thing. You can even use master also, no issues. But it recommends GitHub, they've designed such a way that, okay, let the main branch name be main. Getting what I'm saying? Just the name.
Yes, sir.
There is no difference actually. That's how the GitHub is set up actually. They say, okay, let's do it like this. Okay, this is a good question. Any other questions? Any other question? Yes, you have to ask question. You will get a lot of questions actually. Now I am giving you assignment. Okay, so what do you do? Maybe if you want 2 3 minutes break, take a break. I'll give you another 10 minutes. Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes. Think I'll not be sitting in front of the system till then. Okay, I'll just finish off my dinner and come. So let me pause it